What's going on, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another daily fact and stats show. Um, y'all know for the ones that are in here or come in here early, or even the ones that replay this, I'm gonna put a little background music on, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with the show today in a second. Hey, RJ and Two Turn, what's good with y'all? When I'm on mute, y'all still hear the music, right? When I'm on mute, y'all still hear the little background music? What's good, established? What's good? Everybody that's in here, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Letting the music roll for like 2 to 3 more minutes. I appreciate everybody that's in here, by the way. Appreciate everybody that's in here, by the way. Chan, what's good, Chan? My bad, y'all. I am doing so much working right now. Working on both phones, editing, making clips, all type of stuff. Either way, good morning to everybody that's in here. Good morning to everybody that's in here. Welcome back to another daily facts and stats show. Happy Monday on top of that. Happy Monday on top of that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this music now. I got everything I needed to posted. All right. Um, what's going on, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. As you see floating on the bottom of the screen, welcome to the best show in the world. Welcome to another daily facts and stats show where we get to talk about all sports and just have a good time amongst each other, man. That's what it's all about. Being able to talk about sports, being able to talk about basketball, being able to talk about all the games, whether it's NBA, whether it's NFL, whether it's WNBA, which I couldn't wait for to return, and just anything, eventually, hopefully, more baseball, and probably, hopefully, process is going to go crazy over this. Process is going to go crazy about this. Sixers are expected to attach Paul George and the number 3 pick for names like Kevin Durant or Lauri Markkanen. And me and Process been debating this whole scenario for freaking weeks, dog. He's probably gonna come in here and say, "What did I say, Ev? What did I say? What did I tell you? What did I tell you, man? Shut up, dude." But yeah, welcome to the best show in the world, y'all. I appreciate everybody that's in here so far. You see, welcome to the best show in the world. Again, take y'all shoes off at the door. You know what I mean by that. Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. Hit that thumbs up button on this video. Hit that thumbs up button on this video, and that would definitely help out the algorithm for anybody that's surfing on YouTube to randomly come across fact and stats. And 1, be willing to tap in. 2, be willing to join the stage. And 3, be willing to talk amongst the whole entire community and eventually be a part of the community, be a part of the fact and stats family, and come around on a day-to-day basis. Also, feel free to comment throughout the show today. I read every single comment for the most part. Feel free to comment throughout the show today. I read every single comment for the most part. Any questions, comments, concerns, please bring it to my attention. I would greatly appreciate that. Next, make sure you all share this out with one person today. I'm pretty sure if you share this with one person, they'll more than likely be willing to come back and join the show more often than not. They'll more likely be willing to come back and join the show more often than not. And then last but not least, if you are not subscribed to the platform, I would love for you all to subscribe to Fact and Stats on YouTube as well. I've been enjoying the growth over the last 5 to 7 months. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. It's been a great journey. And as long as I'm enjoying the journey, I think that's all that matters for the most part. So make sure you all subscribe as well. Next, I want to give Andrew a big shout out again. Andrew gifted 5 memberships last week, Friday or Thursday. If anybody in here wants to extend their support for the platform, whether you're in here now, whether you watch this back and you want to extend your support for what I do on a day-to-day basis, I would love for you all to become a member. How can you become a member? The link in the description on this video. There's 3 different levels you can join as. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. They all have different customized perks, emotes, and obviously you get the Fact and Stats logo next to your name, etc. So please, if you're not a member, you want to become a member whenever you feel like the time is right for you. Also, you can send super chats and super stickers at any time. The amount don't matter to me. I'll be grateful, appreciative, thankful, excited, regardless. So that's just a couple of things you guys can do to extend your support for the platform. Next, we got the Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I woke up today a little extra motivated. So I did not go to the gym. I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do with my schedule, because I think when I wake up at 8 a.m., I can get a lot of more fact and stat stuff done between that 8 to 11 a.m. window than I will realistically get done after the show. So I think I got to make a shift in my schedule and go to the gym after the show versus going to the gym before the show. Because today I finished out some shirts, went to the post office, came back, made 2 videos for 2 YouTube shorts. I only uploaded one of them so far. Prep for the show, made breakfast. I got to do a lot of things done. After the show, I be drained. Like some of y'all be rapping. I ain't gonna lie, I be drained. I don't even be wanting to do much. So now I can end the show and still get that extra motivation, still get that extra pep in my step by going to the gym. So again, it might be a little shift. Like sometimes I might just be here 11 to 3, 11 to 2:30, because I am trying to work out this new schedule and see if it's best for me, or should I still remain going to the gym at 8 a.m. So yeah, with that being said, though, the Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok is all at Fact and Stats _. This is very important. Again, I woke up with some extra motivation. So you all seen me. If you have not seen, I posted out where the show will be held at. As always, for the ones that retweet this, quote it, or even like it, thank y'all so much. We're going to be talking about the WNBA recap. Quick stop on Brock Purdy, new extension with the 49ers. Shout out to Brock. OKC dominating Denver in Game 7. And the Nuggets early outlook. And then obviously tomorrow and so forth, we're going to be diving into the series with Oklahoma City and Thunder. Oklahoma City and Minnesota and Indiana and New York. I cannot wait to watch both series. Like I genuinely can't wait to watch both series. And I'm actually really happy that it's these two teams last, to be honest. I'm genuinely happy that these two teams last. I think these are both series where we're going to see so many different people have different winners. Like, this is truly a 50-50 thing. I'm in a group chat on my phone. 5 niggas off my top of my head pick Minnesota. 5 niggas pick Minnesota. Nobody in that chat outside of me pick OKC. And again, I'm just speaking to an iPhone group chat. I'm pretty sure for the Knicks and Pacers, it's going to be the same thing. Niggas going to be like on both sides of the fence. Even inside of Fact and Stats last night, a lot of niggas like Minnesota. Probably a lot of people like OKC too. So I'm truly happy that these are the two series that's left because, again, I think it's going to be a true 50-50 series when it comes to who's picking what and why. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful, man. Andrew just purchased the shirt. Shout out to Andrew, dog. Andrew's a real one. Shout out to Andrew. Some of that is hate. I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't getting into all of that. But either way, yeah, if y'all see this tweet when I tweet in the morning time, if you can retweet it, I would like it. If you quote tweet it, I like it. If you share it in the group chat, I would like that as well. Or even if you just favorite it or like it, whatever, I'll like that as well. I tweet it every single morning. Next, I also tweeted out a picture of myself this past weekend in the new pink shirt. I got a this is a fun fact. I'm going to tell you a fact about this picture right here. As you see, I'm not even prepared for a picture. Like, this picture was so random. This picture was not planned. I got on freaking Crocs. I'm leaving out of a building, and the concierge was like, "Oh, I like your shirt." I'm reading it back. You know, somebody about to give you a compliment because they double back. They'll look at you, and they'll double back and look like a couple of times. So she looked. I'm like, all right. She looked again. I'm like, all right. It's an older lady. I'm like, all right. And I'm leaving out. She's like, oh, I was reading the back of your shirt. I like your shirt. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. So then something told me in my head, like, all right, I need a picture in this shirt because I only got a picture in the off-white one, which I probably saw on the website. So I'm walking right here, right there on that little walkway right there. And it's a white guy coming past. And I'm like, man, God, tell me I need a picture in this shirt because she just gave me a compliment. I said, yo, excuse me, sir. Do you mind taking a picture of me in the shirt real quick? Ran a white guy, bro. Ran a white guy, took a picture of me in that shirt. And the picture came out pretty cool. I like the picture, bro. I like the picture. I like the shirt. So if you are in here, I'm gonna get to the website anyway, but check out the website. Nice photo posted earlier, and then you get down to the rest. I posted another video which is posted on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts today as well. The Liberty are geared to go back to back, and I'm diving in on Game 1 on Saturday. Obviously, I made more videos as well in regards to some things on WNBA relations over this past weekend. But yeah, so I got a lot done this morning, point blank, period, that I wanted to get done. So Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok is all at @FactandStats_. This video is posted on all the platforms, and that's the thing that I'm trying to do now. Continue to get videos posted to all 3 platforms. Continue to put Fact and Stats out there so people can come across Fact and Stats, know what it is, want to be willing to come around and talk inside of the platform. So yeah, that's that. Next, we have the website, which I was just referring to, and that is crazy. That's crazy time, and you see the video is right here on the screen. White Fact and Stats shirt, pink Fact and Stats, heart shape Fact and Stats. The back of the shirt, you will have Speak Your Mind. Then you have the blue shirt coming up, which I don't got a picture in yet either, by the way. Fact and Stats in white lettering, Speak Your Mind on the back and white lettering as well. Then you have the black shirt, white lettering, back, Speak Your Mind, obviously. And then last but not least, the popular one right now, off-white, red heart, back, Speak Your Mind. Again, if you do not have a Fact and Stats shirt, y'all make sure y'all check out the website. If you do not have a Fact and Stats shirt, make sure y'all check out the website, and I'll give y'all a quick glimpse of what the website looked like in a second. And Andrew, thank you for your support as well. It truly means a lot. Quick glimpse on the website. You see me in an off-white shirt, and you saw that shirt, that photo that I just showed you on the pink shirt. Shout out to that random guy. And then you got the 5 shirts here. Next, I do want to try to get shorts for the design as well too. So I am still working behind the scenes to try to get some shorts for this design, so it can be a little matching set or a matching outfit or whatever the case may be. But either way, factandstats.us, the website is the website. The link is in the description on this video. So make sure I check out the website. And again, I don't know how many shirts I got in stock, but it's not a lot, to be honest. So if you want to get a shirt, feel free to check out the website. Next, you got the playback. Playback.tv/facts and stats. Playback is super important. Playback is super. I like the red and white one. It's real. Justin Achille, what's good? Justin Crummer, what's good? Playback is super important, bro. Playback will rewatch live NBA games every single night, or sometimes I take the show there. We continue discussions around NFL, NBA, or whatever the case may be, or we just have open talks. Playback is an app you can download. It is free. It does not cost any money to sign up and join the Fact and Stats Playback Room. Highlight was good. Lawrence was good. It does not cost any money. We have 1,881 members. Road to 1,900. Road to 2,000. Again, it is free. It's an app you can download, and we just watch live games in it every single night. Tonight, I already have one game scheduled for my WNBA folks. We are seeing the Seattle Storm versus the Dallas Wings. The top two picks in the draft are going against each other tonight, and we'll see how that game ends up and turns out. We obviously got some baseball that we can watch too. Don't know if I care to schedule any of them at the moment. What else? NBA game. No NBA games today. We get Wolves and OKC tomorrow. Wolves and OKC tomorrow. Indiana and New York on Wednesday. Fact and Stats Gambling Discord. All my folks that gamble. This Discord is free. It's not cost any money to join. You can join the Discord. You'll see plays from myself, BJ, Lawrence, Chan, Establish, 187. Sometimes High Life and more. Right. I have it set up where you can post all your plays for whatever the sport is in that channel. And then after your slip wins, if it does win, I have a winning slips category. The purpose of that category is, or channel, I should say, for people to see who win and how often. And then you'll more likely get more people willing to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So for the winners, man, drop your winning slips in that category right there. And that's that. Now they get the show started today, man. We're going to get it started off with the Who Sold Your Parlay. Anybody get sold over the weekend? Did anybody get sold? Oh, shit, me. I can raise my hand. I got sold yesterday. I can raise my hand. Shit, I can raise my hand 2 times. Let me pull out my phone. Hold on. Sabrina, I love you. Sabrina showed the shit out me on Saturday. Sabrina sold the shit out me on Saturday. Straight up. Sabrina sold the shit out me on Saturday. I think I took Sabrina for 15, and Sabrina finished with she finished with 8 or something like that, or 10. So Sabrina sold me on Saturday, and I think that was the only sale. And then when it comes to yesterday's games, man, I mean, damn, it was a builder, nigga. Like, a nigga couldn't even hit a builder. Like, you mean to tell me you pulled a plug with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter? You pulled a plug with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, freaking Jokic and Jamal Murray, bro. Jokic finishes with 20 points. I needed 22. Jamal Murray finishes with 13. I needed 14. Like, Coach, I'm mad at Jamal. I'm more mad at Jamal than I am Jokic. I'm mad at both of them. Caruso made Jokic look like he was 5'7". Caruso made Jokic look like he was 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", whatever height you want to say. Nah, 5'7", 5'8". We ain't saying 5'9", I'm 5'9". We don't talk about niggas that's 5'9". Caruso made Jokic like he was 5'7", 5'8". Jamal Murray had no lift on his jump shot the whole entire night. He's still putting up threes. Like, I didn't understand. Like, freaking ridiculous. So that's who sold me over the weekend. Savannah said Jamal sold her yesterday. Seeing Jokic sell your 25 because you only took 9 shots in person was a different level of pain. Nah, that was a long shot. I didn't care about that parlay. That was a no sweat bet. So I got my money back on that one. I got my money back on that one. I didn't really care about that one. Because that one didn't matter. Oh, you saying he sold your 25. My bad. Because I looked at my parlay. I'm like, I had him for 28 on my long shot. But yeah, he sold your 25. Yeah, they were swarming him for sure. But Caruso made it difficult. 1,000%. Caruso made it difficult for Jokic when it comes to positioning and things of that nature. I want to give Alex Caruso a big shout out. A big shout out. I don't see nobody else saying they got sold yesterday. Established. I heard Arena was a different level of hype yesterday. Like, it was a different level of lit. Like, it was ridiculous, bro. It made me wish that I was there, bro. I seen all the tweets about Oklahoma City Arena yesterday, and man, I genuinely wish I was there. Personally, I genuinely wish I was there. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, now y'all are headed for Now y'all are headed for a freaking what I about to say, a Western Conference Finals appearance against Minnesota, and a lot of people. Boy, talk about a series. I don't even know what to say, bro. Talk about a series inside of fact and stats. Talk about a series inside of fact and stats, and that's crazy because last year I said I hope they play in the playoffs, and I didn't think it would be the conference finals. You know what I'm saying? But I think either way, people will love SGA making the finals, and people will love Ant making the finals. Like it's like a win-win, regardless. So especially for niggas like Low, who's randomly they both his favorite players outside of Curry now. Shit is insane if you ask me. But shout out to Low, dog. You know I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm always show my dog love too, but shit is insane. Either way, we're gonna jump into these WNBA games. Jokic, Shy, Jamal, a bag of people sold yesterday. I heard too. I encourage anyone to experience one game in that arena in their life. Do anybody got any player of the days over the weekend? Matter of fact, across all sports, do anybody got any player of the days before I dive into these WNBA weekend games? Do anybody got any player of the days before I dive into these WNBA weekend games? WNBA weekend games. Lamine Yamal. Shout out to Yamal, man. That's one guy that I want to watch more. That's one guy that I want to tap into even more. And I don't know too much about him yet. I just found out about him a couple of weeks ago. But that is a great shout out for what he accomplished this past weekend. I think it was Friday or Saturday. So shout out to them. Great shout out, High Life. Fee, shout out to Fee. For sure. Fee had a good game yesterday too. She's off to a good start to the season as usual, though, Fee. Jamal sold my foul leg, had it for 16. He had 13. Shout out to AG. AG's a good shout out. Scored a crazy goal yesterday. Shout out to Kiki. I like Kiki. She's a baller. The Mystics got two good rookies. No funny. Yeah, Mystics got two good rookies. Scotty Scheffler. CC, of course. Definitely shout out to CC. Shout out to Aaliyah Boston, too. She had 19 and 13. Shout out to Natasha Cloud. Like, I just shouted her out in the YouTube video that I just made. 22, 6 and 9 with 5 stocks. Crystal Palace. I don't know who that is. Who is that? What's Crystal Palace? What is that? Is that a player? What is that? What is that, Billy? Can you let me know what that is? I legit don't know what that is. Oh, that's the team. Is that the team that beat Manchester United, I think, or something like that? Okay. Oh, Man City. Okay. So I seen the notification, but I didn't really read it. Okay. So I seen a little something. I just didn't pay attention to it. But all right. Thank y'all. Also, if you don't forget, y'all, if you are in here, do not forget to like this video. First trophy ever. Shout out to them. First trophy in their history. That's major. So Crystal Palace, shout out to you guys. Shout out to y'all team. And I'm pretty sure that feeling probably felt insane for them to be able to pull that off and do that. We got 3 new subscribers today. 3 new subscribers today, y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing to Fact and Stats. Anybody, do not be shy. Do not be afraid to join the stage. But I do want to say I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling great. I'm having a productive morning. With that being said, I'm going to immediately dive things into this WNBA weekend recap. Guys, I'm briefly stopping on Friday's games because we watched it briefly inside of Fact and Stats, but not too much. But we more so was tapped into Saturday's games. So the WNBA season kicked off yesterday, and I feel like I've been doing my best when it comes to, and I'm not no head leader or no, not a leader of anybody or anything like that, but I have been doing my best when it comes to Fact and Stats at the platform when it comes to having WNBA talks evolve inside of Facts and Stats. I want to say, and a lot of it starts with me, right? We have folks that's in here that watch baseball or hockey, but the talks don't really be too broad or too deep or talk about a lot in here, probably because of me, to be honest. Like, I don't put it on a docket and things like that. So WNBA, I made sure to add that, you know what I'm saying? College football, I made sure to tap in more over the years to add that. College basketball, I made sure to be super duper locked in to continuously add that, because fact and that's was always just NBA and NFL for the most part. Yeah, shout out to the Panthers, man. I seen a crazy stat yesterday. I seen a crazy stat yesterday. The Toronto Maple Leafs lost 7 straight game 7s. I didn't even know something like that was possible. How do you lose 7 straight game 7s? And I could be wrong, but I think it was 7 straight years as well. I think they lost 7 straight game 7s in 7 straight years. I could be wrong, but either way, they lost 7 straight game 7s. I know that's the fact. I just think it was 7 straight years. I don't know if that's true. Can somebody let me know if that's true? And in the meanwhile, give me 1 second. They have the NHL and B. Yeah, man. 7 straight game 7s. 7 straight game 7s is insane. So back to what I was saying though. Like I feel like I've been doing my job when it comes to having WNBA talks evolve inside of facts and stats. Because it's a great sport. Basketball period is a great sport, you know. So when it comes to the action on Friday now, Panthers really the best team in South Florida. They have the NHL and B. Is that the guy that I was watching the other day? Did they have Connor McDavid? Is that the guy that Zach put me on to? Correct. How do you, bro? How do you, who yo, I don't condone switching teams. I don't condone stop rooting for your team ever. Never will. But that's a different level of pain. How the fuck do you go to the playoffs 7 straight years and you lose 7 straight game 7s in a row? 7 straight years and you lose 7 straight game 7s. I couldn't be a Maple Leaf fan anymore. I couldn't even talk about the Maple Leafs anymore. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Maple Leaf fans, I'm praying for y'all. That's a tough experience. I hope I would never have to experience something like that in my lifetime as a fan of any sport, whether it's the Ravens, whether it's the Heat, or whatever the case may be. But 7 straight game 7s is a different type of pain. 7 straight game 7s and 7 straight years, and you lost them all is a different type of pain. So prayers up to Mazak, to Heaven Sent, and anybody else that's up there that's a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. McDavid played for Edmonton. Yeah, I'm talking about Matthews. Okay, Matthews. Matthews is the NHL and B. I don't want to know who that is then. Austin Matthews? Yeah, I'm cool off that dude. I probably would never watch him. Shout out to him, though. What round is it in hockey, y'all? What round is it? When do I tap in? What round is it? The NHL Western Conference Finals is Lowe's the finals? Huh? What is it? What does that say, right? The NHL Western Conference Finals is what round are they in the conference finals? Okay, bet. So it's time to tap in. Back to the WNBA though. Friday, real quick pit stop on Friday. We had 3 games kick off this season. I want to give the Mystics a shout out. They're 2-0 this year. Brittany Sykes is getting an opportunity to ball out. She's getting an opportunity to ball out. She had a good game on Friday. She had a good game on Sunday, which was yesterday against the Sun. Followed up with 22 performers on Friday with 27 yesterday. We'll get into that in a second. From a dream perspective, they're starting two new bigs down low, and that's Brittany and Brianna. They both played 28 and 34 minutes. They both combined for 18 rebounds and 34 points. Ryan Howard struggled in this one, as I see her highlighted because she's one of my favorite players. She struggled in this one. She was 4 for 14, 3 for 12 from the field, and they started their season off 0-1. Bad loss, in my opinion, for the Atlanta Dream. Next, you got the Washington, like I was saying, the Washington Mystics. They got Kiki, and how you say? I think her name was Sonia. Is that saying her name right, Shaggy? Sonia. I think I'm saying her name right, but I think Shaggy said she's. I don't know. I just know she's tough. Yeah, I think you said she a rookie of the year.
Yeah, she won't. Yeah. Paige got some. I mean, she gonna have to step it up, man.
Yeah, so
both of them rookies on the mix is gonna be in the right track.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They definitely hit with two really good picks. And that's what it's all about when you have two picks like that. You want to try to capitalize. And I think the Mystics did that. And Sykes, like I said, is getting opportunity to ball. Atkins is out. Atkins is one of the guards that was on that team last year. She's now on elsewhere. I want to say she's with the Sky after watching her this past Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. But these two rookies can step up, start, and play good basketball immediately. Aaliyah Edwards did not play, the rookie from last year. She had a low back contusion. But either way, they started the season off 2-0 with bad loss for the Dream yesterday. I mean, on Friday. I'm sorry. Um, Another game from Friday that I'm gonna quickly run down. We had the Wings versus the Lynx. I didn't fully tap into this game because I think this is around the time where the NBA game was on. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's time when the Knicks and the Celtics was on for the most part. But the Lynx, listen, they were the second best team in WNBA to me last year. I made a video this morning. I think they're still the second best team in the WNBA. Which is not that door can still be open though. But Fee, it starts with her and it doesn't end with her. Fee had 34 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Shot the ball really well in this game. Courtney Williams had 25 and 9. She had a good playoff run last year, and they're still playing without Kelly McBride, who's out to start the season. But they're still just a well-rounded team offensively, and they're still really a good team defensively. I think that's what they hang their hats on. And as far as the Wings, this was their first game of the year. So they still got some things to work out when it comes to having 3 guards. 3 new guards playing together. Let me put it like that. That's Paige, Dejanay, and Enrique. So they struggled in this one. All 3 ladies combined, quick math, 33, 9, 12 out of 33 from the field. And they shot bad from the 3, but they all shot well from the free throw line. Enrique had 16, Dejanay had 15, Paige had 10. So they made an adjustment, man. Tierra, who started a lot last year and I drafted in fantasy basketball for no reason now. She only played 5 minutes in this game, and they started my Maisha Hines Allen now, and Alyssa Smith also starting for them now. She only played 18 minutes though, with 6 points and 4 rebounds. So we'll continue to monitor and see how the Wings do the rotation, how their minutes go around. But they got a lot of work to do when it comes to those 3 ladies. I'm sorry, getting up to par, playing basketball together, and figuring out that continuity and chemistry. But either way, I expect them to probably be okay this year. Be a little up and down. I'll have a little shaky season. But more credit to the Lynx. Lynx are great. They are so big. The Fee and Williams are such a great 1-2 punch. Facts. You can see the hunger in the Lynx this year. Kelsey looks good in his lead guard role. Los Angeles doesn't have the depth right now to contend. Yeah, we'll get to them in a second, but I agree. Speaking of Kelsey Plum and the lead guard role that Mr. Statology was just referring to, her first game, man, I'm happy for her. You leave a situation, you went out of a situation in Las Vegas where you got drafted, you won your championships, you had your fun, and shit. Credit to her, she got out of a situation at the right time, if you ask me, and we're gonna get into that in a second. She had 37 points, 6 assists, five steals in her debut for Los Angeles Sparks. Rakia also was able to still get her shots up. She had 13 points, was 5 for 15, and Darica Hamby had 14 and 10. So it was a good opening game for them. They played the Golden State Valkyries, who's a new team. Shout out to them. This team is filled by a couple of drafted players, and obviously the expansion draft where Kayla Thornton, Timmy, Tiffany Hayes, Kate Martin, and company are now there now, opposed to where they were last year. Tiffany Hayes will probably be the best offensive player for them this whole entire year for the most part. I think Timmy will also be solid. And they were the 2 best players in this game. But ultimately, the Sparks got the win 84-67. So shout out to Los Angeles. I think they will be fine as well, especially when Brink plays, if she does return this year, which I do expect sometime in June. And that'll be that. But Sparks 84-67, they got the win on Friday. Now to get to Saturday, where things really, really started, or things got heated up, really kicked off. This is, and man, it's just hit my mind, bro. And then K not even in here. It just hit my mind, and K not even in here. Tell me, when that team be losing, bro, he be ducking and dodging, bro. Let me try to get Kid. Let me try to see if Kid even pop in. He be ducking and dodging when that team be losing. Because I genuinely got some questions for Kid.
I don't even know why you be wanting to hear that bullshit. Fuck, it's not the fucking delusion, bro. They fucking suck, respectfully. Like, all due aside, this league had much better teams. They wouldn't be relevant. Respectfully.
Nah, I'm with you.
They're not good.
I'm trying to find him right now, right? I'm about to see if he'll pull up. It just hit my mind to try to find kid, to be honest. So I just sent him a message. Let me see if he'll pull up to the show. But either way, Saturday, man, where things I want to say really popped off, or where people were a lot of people were anticipating watching, is because we saw the reigning champs or the defending champs, I want to say, in the New York Liberty go against once was and probably still is, I don't want to deny that, one of the better teams in WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces. And then we also saw the new look Indiana Fever hit the floor again. And then also the Chicago Sky for what they are. And the whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing for kicking off the season. But game one on Saturday, we had my New York Liberty at home, fresh off of winning a ring. They got their rings. The banner went up into the sky. It was a beautiful thing to see. Go against the Las Vegas Aces, a team, to me, I always say they got their get back on last year. We know the Aces beat them in the playoffs 2 years ago, and they were able to play the Aces last year in the playoffs and beat them. And after, and then went on to beat the Lynx as well. Great run for the Liberty last year, by the way. Game one, man, it was beautiful. I said pregame. I said when the move happened. Y'all even heard me speaking on her last year during the season. It's not a shot to her, but as a basketball fan, I did not like Vandersloot no more for the New York Liberty. I was cool off Vandersloot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't want her back. I ain't want to see her and Sabrina in the backcourt again because she didn't really offer anything much else. You know what I'm saying? Like, from basically in comparison to what Natasha brings to the table, worlds better than Vandersloot. And I think that's why the Liberty are more so geared to go back to back more than ever, in my opinion, because Natasha, what we saw on Saturday, is just a glimpse. Like, we're going to see more performances like this because she's tough, she's hard nosed, she's scrappy, she's physical. Her biggest knock is she's not a 3-point shooter, right? But other than that, she gets to the line, she knocked down her free throws, she can finish at the rim. Obviously, all ladies for the most part are going to miss a couple of layups, and you're going to see some missed layups and watching women's basketball. That's what it is. She can play make, and she can score the basketball. You know, she had 22, 6 and 9, 3 steals and 2 blocks. I got to credit her for that. I'm super duper happy that she's glad and starting alongside Sabrina, because now when Sabrina's having bad games, which can happen, all good / great players have bad games, you're not looking over to Vandersloot and say, hey, pick up some slack from an offensive perspective. You're not looking at Vandersloot and say, hey, be tough, be physical, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, that's not a knock to Sloot. You know, go have a great year in Chicago. She had a good career, period. But I think Natasha brings that extra edge and intensity and physicality that New York would need, and likes to being able to go back to back, especially with Lainey Hamilton not being there this year as well. John Quill, Finals MVP. You know, she still looks like I'm trying to use the correct wording for women's basketball versus terms that I was in NBA, but she still looked like the biggest and also one of the best players on the court at all times, no matter who she plays. You know, shout out to Asia, the performance that she had. But John Quill has 17, 10, and 6. I love everything about her game. I've never really have anything bad to say about John Quill. I respect her as a 3-point shooter. I respect her getting to the line. I respect her finishing around the rim. I respect her remembering the jump shot. I respect her as a connected passer. Everything with John Quill, it's on display every single game for the most part. And then Stewie, still the best player on the team. 25 and 8 last night. Really nothing that you can Saturday, nothing really bad you can say about that performance. So it was a really good win for them. For me, if anybody saw the video that I dropped earlier this morning, this is what I was speaking to, and I'm rapping. I'm passing to Josiah and D back in a second. But this is what I was speaking to. John Quill, give him hell. You know it, Reese. This is what I was speaking to though. Aces, man, listen. When I say Kelsey got out of a situation at the right time, this is what I mean. Because realistically, as a WNBA fan, I don't know how much more different, even if Kelsey was there instead of Jewel Lloyd right now, I don't know how much different the team would have looked in comparison to last year to now. Like, it probably really wasn't going to be no changes. To be real, this is probably how some of their games are going to look this season, right? And I'm not saying every single game, but some of their games are going to look like this year, where we see Asia have 25 and 13. In this game, for example, 31 and 16. But the others outside of Asia will be the main question marks, right? Lloyd, Gray, and Jackie Young combined 11 for 42 in this game. I want to repeat that. Lloyd, Gray, and Jackie Young combined 11 for 42 in this game. Jewel Lloyd is best with the ball in her hands. Chelsea Gray is best with the ball in her hands. And at this point as well, Jackie Young is best with the ball in her hands. Out of them 3 ladies that I just listed, Jackie Young is the best scorer, in my opinion, at this day and age, or at this stage in her career. And I think they're going to run into the same issues that they ran into last year when it comes to who's going to step up and be the second and third best offensive player that night for them on a consistent basis, and then how they're going to limit, slow down, or stop teams on the defensive side of the ball. And then they still don't have no front court depth. Like they still shout out to Dana Evans. She came from the sky. Shout out to her. They needed another backup guard, in my opinion. That can sort of kind of replicate how Tip or Tiffany Hayes played for them last year. Although Tiffany is better than Dana Evans, but still, the Aces still have all the question marks in the world. If you came to this year with question marks for the Aces, or you even left last season with question marks for the Aces, it's still there. It's still there. Nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. Only thing that changed is probably Asia Wilson hair color or what shoe she gonna wear for the particular game. Shout out to her. Shoes on fire, by the way. But 31-16 on Saturday, and it clearly wasn't enough because Liberty was in control the whole entire game. So before we move on to the Fever game and Sky game, I'm gonna pass it to D-Mac and Josiah, two also New York Liberty fans, and hear what they got to say about it, and see if Shaggy want to wrap it up. I know he said they suck, and not much difference. See if you want to wrap up anything else in regards to them, and we'll work out and continue working our way down the room or the game. I'm sorry. Y'all want to add anything? Just D-Mac or Josiah?
Yeah. You talked about some aspects of the new acquisitions and stuff. The thing I'll say is we got some lack of contributions from Phoebich, who obviously was jet lagged coming over from Euro basketball commitment, and she won a championship over there. So she didn't do much, but as far as the box score is concerned. But the thing I just wanted to point out is just that how I'm very happy about the way in which this team has been constructed specifically. The depth and the defensive emphasis, in addition to obviously the star power that we have, I think just puts us on a different level than the entirety of the WNBA. And the way in which John Krell and Stewie play with such size and their versatility and the fact that they can play the 5-out, type of system, I think is the biggest piece of it, because they allow you to have a Natasha Cloud who maybe is a little inconsistent from three, but you're not really concerned about that because the floor spacing isn't going to suffer as much because everybody else still has that, consistent three ball. And obviously, this is a game in which we did not make the three on a consistent basis. Obviously, shot 19%. But the ability still to be a threat is the ability to still be a big piece of that. So that's a huge part of it. Natasha, when you are trying to go, back to back, I think that you do need a level of injection of different mentality and hunger as far as that is concerned. And that's exactly what Natasha brings to the table. I'm so happy that she's come over because similar to what you were talking about as far as the guard pairing that we kind of had last year, our ability to play big really it was about June that we made the adjustment on around Sabrina, made our defense and then our offense still could operate at a high level. Even with that, it just took our defense to a different level. Natasha and her point of attack ability is really massive, and you saw that throughout the entirety of the game. Her and Phoebich harassing Young and Gray significantly hindered what they were able to do on a consistent basis. And Lloyd obviously struggled as well, and they're expecting better contributions from her. But even still, it just made their offense incredibly more difficult. And you add that to the size that we already bring to the table, then it's very difficult for Asia to just absolutely destroy the game. Now, obviously, she still had her, 31-16 because she is the best player in the world, but it wasn't easy. And that's really what it comes down to. And you talk about obviously the rest of the the rest of the depth as far as the team is concerned. Like I talked about when we were talking about, to start off the season, but I'm just really happy that we've able to add some people that have been able to bring that to the table. And you got some solid minutes from Izzy. Naira came in, immediately made an impact. I said it, during the playoffs, she was able to have some flashes, and her development, I think, is going to be really key as well. Obviously, you saw what Kennedy Burke did off the bench. She's going to be an incredibly key person with Laney now out for the season as well. And then we didn't even really get anything from Marine. But now that we got her back, the idea of, the first guard off the bench is still, in my opinion, probably upgraded from where it was last year, and what Sloop brought to the table. So I'm like I said, I'm extremely excited to watch this team continue to play basketball. I didn't think that we were going to have any issues with the Aces, and we were in control of the game the entirety of the time. I love what we're going to bring to the table the entirety of the season.
Well, see, my brother. Decided you want to add anything, bro?
Not really. Just good first win. Like dominating first win. So good start to the season for us. Great start. I mean, great start.
Thank you, my brother. Uh, Shaggy thoughts were pretty much straightforward. I tried to see if we were going to get kids and Aces fan in here to pop in and talk. Probably busy at the moment. Pretty sure he'll probably pop in later whenever he's free. Um, he's busy at the moment. He just messaged me back. He's busy. OJ, you was coming up here to comment on the Liberty and the Aces, or you good?
Yeah, just for a quick second, I ain't got too much to say, but I think that might have been the. I know you was a whole bunch of moves made across the NBA, WNBA, I should say, but that move with Natasha Cloud, I mean, because I think a lot of times you can kind of see it with that move with the Aces, with Jewel Lloyd. Sometimes these moves, especially when they're big enough, they take a minute to kind of materialize, and you gonna. I think that's what you're gonna see with Jewel Lloyd. But when you get a motherfucker like what you call it, Natasha Cloud, her plug and play, because you can put her on any team, bro. You can like I think Jules got to try to figure her way out. Where do I fit in? When do I try to score? Where do I, try to do what I do? Natasha Cloud, you can drop her in any month. Man, look here, bro. The way she plays the game, that is something that can translate to any motherfucking team. The dog, the play hard, the effort, and you ain't got to worry about her taking a shot and then thinking about it and was that a bad shot? No, she gonna do what she do, and you gonna have to live with that. And I think if you get her, you invest in her, you already know that up front. I think that might be one of the biggest moves of the year, to be honest with you. I know there was a lot of big moves, but that one right there, and what the way that looks on that team, bruh, I'm just telling you, that's a big time move. I like that move for them, and I like that move for her as well. She fits seamlessly. I'm talking about seamlessly. Look, she almost it almost looks like she's been there. And I heard them say in the broadcast at some point that it's kind of been in the works for the last couple of years. So that's a big time move, man. I like it. I like the way that team looks with her at the helm. And I think it's going to benefit everybody on that team. I think she takes a little bit of pressure off everybody. So, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, and
That's all.
the thing about, you know, it has been in the works for years. Cloud wanted Stewie to come to Connecticut, and then she also wanted to come to New York last year. But the what to your point, Cloud is always going to bring that consistent defensive presence, and then also the ability to be a ball handler and playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. And it does not have to be a primary playmaker. It doesn't need to be that level. It can just be a secondary playmaker. The fact that she can flow in the offense with the offensive talent around her is what makes it help so easily. And her and Sabrina played a little bit in Unrivaled as well, and so they got good chemistry. And I'm not expecting her to obviously have this level of stat line every single night. Obviously, Sabrina had struggled mightily in this game, but even still, the ability for them to play off each other was incredibly key. And the Aces obviously made it an emphasis to make Cloud beat them. And the thing that I liked the most was that she didn't force the three. Obviously, she took four of them, made one of them, but she was very comfortable with going to the basket on a consistent basis. And again, with the talent that we have around her, that's what her primary mindset should be, and that's what it's always been. So I'm just happy that this was a targeted move. We had that first round pick to move off of, and we used it accordingly to go get Cloud. And I'm really glad that we're able to do that as well. And I think she's going to help out. She's going to help out some of the young guards that we're continuing to develop as well. She's going to help take some pressure off of Sabrina as far as being able to be the primary POA defender. So I like you said, OG, she fits in seamlessly, and she's somebody that brings that mentality every single night. And I think that's incredibly key for us having this repeat run.
Yeah, you don't have to run one play for her. I
Nope.
don't think you have to run one play for her, but she's still gonna find a way to impact the game on both sides of the ball, on
Yep.
both sides. So yeah, that's a big time pickup.
Yeah, well said. I mean, OG, that's a great shout out, and D Mac responding back to everything you just said perfectly as well. So shout out to you both. And then shout out to the Liberty, man. I'm super duper happy for the season and what's to come. Next, this team, in my opinion, again, I actually made a quick video on them this morning as well that I'm gonna drop in a couple of hours, as I want to continue to try to be more active on the YouTube short side, TikTok side, and Instagram side as from a clips perspective. But the Indiana Fever, man, 93-58 to kick off their season against Chicago Sky. They made this a game one opener because obviously the two players on these teams have like history. Uh, the fan bases for both players pretty much are against each other, and it started from college. And it took its way to the WNBA. I like it. I'm a fan of it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no problem with it. I like it. They don't need to be buddy. Not saying they're not buddy buddy, but the fans, I guess, don't need to be buddy buddy. And I think that's good for the game because it's making more people talk about the WNBA. It's making more people watch the WNBA. It's making more people even keep up with the WNBA. So I think that it works out regardless. And what I mean by I'm referring to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And even down to this game, and I don't want to make this about the whole entire game, but even down to this game where we saw some would call it a hard foul, or some would call it a common foul, or some would call it a good basketball play, where Caitlin saw Angel push Natasha in the back, and she was like, "Well, damn, what the hell?" The Angel going up for a rebound, a bucket, and she fouled Angel. To me, she did like give her a little shrug a little bit and look at her, while she's going down. That triggered Angel to get up and try to act like it's something worth doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Angel did a little bit too much. I think it was a good foul by CC. And I think both are really good players. But outside of just them two, I want to circle on the Indiana Fever because, like OG was just saying, a lot of moves been made this offseason. It's up to you to pick whatever is the best move, because even down to how Satu and AT looked in their debut for Phoenix was major. Granted, it sucks that Copper's going to be out for a month and a half, or whatever the case may be with that knee surgery or knee injury she has. But the Fever, they did some things, right? And they added Natasha Howard to the fold. They added DeWanna Bonner, and that's two ladies going to be starting the whole entire year. And both of them bring experience to this team. Both of them bring a lot of different skill sets to this team. Sophie didn't play in this one due to ankle injury. She suffered in the preseason, but it just goes to show like how much better the Fever will be this season. Even down to last year, they had a couple of good games against the Sky. They played 5 times this year, and it'll be hard for me to believe that any of the games this year between these two teams will be good. I think the Fever are just on that level to where they're saying, "Hey, we're ready." And you heard CC say this too, but hey, we're ready. We think our time is now. And like I said earlier, I think the top 2 teams in the WNBA is clear cut for me. Could the Fever knock on the door potentially? Probably, so they can probably become number 2. But I think that 3rd spot is wide open, depending on who you're talking to. But if it's me, I would probably lean Indiana. Some would probably say Las Vegas still because of what Asia and them could be, in my opinion. And obviously, it's a could be with Indiana as well because we still got to wait and see how they look against some of the better teams. The Sky is just not that at this moment. I'm gonna speak on the Sky side first. Vandersloot, bro, nobody played good, bro. I don't need to sit here and act like nobody on this team played good, and it's not really a bad thing. They just don't have the roster or the personnel to even have games look good. They don't have a good point guard on this team. Well, they have Vandersloot, but they need better guard play. It's a struggle when it comes to getting Camilla the ball on the block down low. Angel has to try to take the ball from the top on down. She was 5 for 14 this game. She had 12 points and 17 rebounds. So the top 2 teams for me is the Liberty and the Lynx. She had 12 points and 17 rebounds. But I expect the Sky to struggle the whole entire year, y'all. I don't need to try to cook up some think pieces for them. They shot 23-79 from the field, and 6 for 27 from 3. I just don't think they're going to be that good team from a comes to offensive perspective. And I think there'll be a lot of games where they struggle. And I think their best guard scorer is Ariel Atkins, but it'll be better for them to have a guard that can set them up and initiate. And you ought to think Vandersloot can do that from an experience perspective of just who she is, but they're going to need more outside of her. So 58 points, man, it is what it is, bro. I don't have to say much about them. But Indiana Fever side of things, I was excited to watch the Fever play basketball again. Like I numerous tweets of me waiting to see Caitlin Clark play basketball again, and she shows you why every single time she has the ball for the most part. 20 points. She's the best passer in WNBA to me, RJ. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Like, it's ridiculous, it's literally ridiculous. She had a really good all around game. Obviously, they put her back into the game to get the triple double, which I feel like they should have did anyway. I feel like that is great for the sport to see people achieve things like that. And this won't be her first triple double. I mean, this won't be her last triple double of the year. She'll probably get like 5 to 7 triple doubles this season, because she's just that level of player. And what I was about to say, I lost my train of thought. She's making history. She's making records, and she'll be breaking records this year, same way she did last year. Outside of CC, biggest pushback or not concerns, but pushback for some people was Aaliyah Boston. How is she gonna look this year? You know, is she gonna be finishing better? Is she gonna be shooting better? Is she gonna be stretching the floor? How is she gonna be looking? Whatever the case may be. She had 19 points, 13 rebounds, and she's probably one of the better defenders from a big perspective in the WNBA. Her, Aaliyah, and Fee, right, and many, and probably a couple of others. But 5 blocks in this game. That's what they need. You know, that's what they need out of her. CC the best in the world. That's what they need out of her. So even down to Natasha Howard in her game, man. Obviously, she struggled on the free throw line. She was 3 for 8. But what she's going to bring to Indiana is what she brought to Dallas, and that's good front court play. Looking to get hers and score basketball. She's just not a 3-point shooter, and I spoke to that like last month or something like that when it comes to her game. Dewana Bonner, she wasn't heavily involved into the offense, but I was saying to Tez, I think, and I think Shaggy even said the same thing. That don't matter to me. Like I that doesn't matter for the Fever. Their offense, their pecking order, it should be CC, Aaliyah, CC, Kelsey, however you want to flip flop. It should be them 3 players, and Dewana and Natasha get theirs around them 3, and they should be experienced enough. They've been in the league long enough to know what type of situation they're stepping into when it comes to them 3 ladies should be the best 3 players on their team, and then they get theirs on the outside or around, or one of them or picking up their slack, or one of them is having a bad game or something like that, which Bonner can do, which Natasha probably can do. Bonner, though, to her real quick, she was the 3rd all-time WNBA scoring leader. She's up there with Tina Charles, Diana Taurasi, my first favorite player, and now her. They're top 3, so shout out to them 3. Or did she? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think Tina is 2. I might have said that wrong, but I think Tina's 2. But yeah, man, the Fever, man, really, really, really good team. Lexi Hall gave them a lot of good minutes last year because Lexi is like, again, not the same as that comparison. But when it comes to player from a effort perspective, she's like Josh Hart. Like when a shot go up, Lexi crash in the glass, offensively and defensively. She crashed. So only as a rebounding perspective of the comparison, y'all. Don't think it's nothing else. But rebounding perspective, she crashes the glass every single time. Pay attention to Fury games. In this game, she had 9 rebounds. 3 of them was offensive. That's what she do. She did that last year. So you'll see a lot of that this season. The Fever, man, they're a really good team, bro. They're a really good team. And like I said, it's going to come down to 2 teams when it comes to who's going to be that 3rd best team in the WNBA. It's going to be the Fever or the Aces. And if you ask me, I'm leaning Indiana. I think the Aces got some things to work through. I think they got some wrinkles, whatever, to figure out, like OG was speaking on earlier. And I don't think I'm that happy of the fit with them 3 ladies playing together. They're all 3 good basketball players. I think Grace, obviously, not the same what she was 2 years ago, but they're all 3 good basketball players. But I think the Fever, they ready, man. I think they'll be ready this year, and I would love a Fever in a Lynx matchup, not in the finals, but like that first regular season game, or when they play the Liberty, that first regular season game, I'm gonna be locked in for sure. So
We
that's my
ready
quick.
for them, bro.
Nah, you said what?
We ready for them, bro. They got us last year. I ain't gonna lie. They got us in some good matchups last year, but we back with a better team this year. But
Yeah. But that's all I gotta say, bro. I know I've been talking a lot. Do any of y'all want to add anything to the Fever opener? You know, winning 93-58. Appreciate that,
I
Shane.
you just
93-58,
went
whatever.
crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I did.
yeah, you try like that. I mean, you said everything for real, but I mean, it's not too much to say on the Sky side, honestly. That game from them, they were pretty bad. It's not really nobody one shout out over there. But I'm gonna just shout out some players I felt like deserve some shout out. Shout out Natasha. I want to give her. She's yeah, thank you. Right. So obviously, we're second order.
Low, you muffled or going in and out. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
You,
Nah,
you're still a little muffled. Yeah, you low.
nah.
No,
You
no,
gotta,
you still. Yeah, you got to
reconnect.
move your hand or something. I don't know
Oh,
what's going
I don't know. Hold up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not too much to say
Yo, you
after.
hear me?
All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, low.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got you now.
Oh, I bet I took my AirPod out. All right, but I just want to shout out Natasha because it's like Ev said, right? Like you know the pecking order. We know who the pecking order is, right? CC, Kelsey, Aaliyah. Aaliyah, Kelsey, interchangeable, cool, whatever. But at that point, like people have to be able to score or play their game as like, you know, this is a word I'm looking for here. I don't know what it is, but fuck it. They have to be able to get in where they fit in, basically, bro. Natasha was able to get in when she fit in, and she was able, especially in the first half. I feel like, if I remember correctly, in the first half, she was able to score the ball just without really any sets or plays ran for her. She was able to get those trash cleanup type of buckets. If you get what I'm saying, and which I think, as long as she could do that, she'll be fine. Dewana Bonner, Ev said it. Hell of a defender. I don't really care about her offense. The offense is what it is, but she played great defense the whole game, pretty much. And shout out CC, shout out Kelsey, shout out Leah. I'm gonna let somebody else go. There's not really too much to be said about this one.
Wes, you can go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, man, this is a real mob. Like just to echo Ev's sentiments. I mean, they can do a lot. They can do a lot. They got to stay together, build even more camaraderie, and it's just about when that moment comes, meeting it. Like because this is gonna be one of the best teams in the W. I think they'll be a top four team, and I think anything less really would be a disappointment. Um, AB looks like a monster. Granted, one game, we'll see. But that chemistry, you remember last year to start the season, you could tell that the ladies hadn't really been able to work together. Now, after a full season and an off season, they look like they're running on all cylinders, man, clicking on all cylinders. So, shout out, man. Fever. We see a lot of times with teams when they get players this good, like in CC Phenoms. They don't build the proper rosters quickly enough, aren't ready to compete quickly enough. Shout out to Fever for not letting that happen, man, and putting the necessary pieces around her to ensure that they have a real chance to push for something great, man.
Uh, I'll jump in here. So from the Sky perspective, well, actually I'll start with the Fever. From the Fever perspective, they kind of looked how I expected them. I do think that they are at the very least top 5 team in the league, and I think they certainly can challenge for that number 3 spot, depending on how really how Asia can carry the Aces. But they certainly got good contributions from the people that they were expecting to get them from. Caitlin was her normal excellent self. Aaliyah Boston looked like the second year or the third year player, I should say, that I kind of thought that she was going to look like coming into this year, more comfortable playing off of CC and a little bit more aggressive down low, which is good to see from her. They were able to get the good contributions from the role players. You mentioned Lexi Hill. I actually like the Josh Hart comparison because the 3 ball is going to be a little inconsistent, but she's going to hustle out there. She can do the cuts. She can do the dirty work and have no issues in trying to provide that a little bit. Um, you know, Obviously Cunningham was out, so she didn't, provide the floor spacing. So we'll see how that certainly changes it as well. I do have questions about this team a little bit as far as the offensive end versus the better defensive teams in the league, or just better teams in general, because I don't think the Sky are very good. But I do think that what you saw today is what you're going to see a lot of the season and what they're able to do as far as multiple threats to provide for the rest of the season is concerned. So expect the Fever certainly to have a really good season, and obviously this is a big start to it as well. From the Sky perspective, I mean, I had some question marks about what they chose to do as far as their offseason plan was concerned. The guard acquisition, I didn't mind getting Sloot. I thought that it made sense because she was a little bit more of a point guard that they really required. But it's Vander Sloot. She's not necessarily a starting point guard in this league. They had an opportunity to take Sonya, and obviously we see how good Sonya looks already for the Mystic. And I think that just would have been a much better pathway, and they chose to instead go Ariel. And it's a choice that they made. It's not one that I necessarily loved. So it's a difficult situation. It's going to continue to be a difficult situation because as it currently stands, they don't have a good way to get the ball inside to Camila Cardoso. And that's, my team criticism, and it includes the coaching because the coaching was awful. Didn't have any type of offensive system to speak of, and the rotations having both her and Angel on the bench at the same time just made no sense whatsoever. You have to stagger them. You can't have them both on the bench at the same time. So those are the criticism. Camilla herself, she's coming over from playing in China, and there's not a lot of challenging as far as bigger people over there that she's playing against on a consistent basis. So she has to adjust back to the physicality down low. I think Aaliyah, gave her a welcome back, and obviously Dewana Bonner played a role in that too. She has to play bigger on a more consistent basis. She can't be looking for foul calls. She's just not going to get them. She's not going to be refed that way. She has to impose her will down low, and she didn't do that throughout the entirety of this game. So it may be a little bit of a half step back for her development, but I think over the course of the season, she'll get the message as far as that's concerned. Angel was inefficient. Obviously, did what she normally does, which is be able to finish, on a inconsistent basis. Did pass the ball fine, and obviously got the boards. But the reality situation is the offensive system is so terrible. It's hindering both of them. So I'm the offseason moves and obviously the coaching. It does not put me in a great place for how these two are going to be able to grow, but hopefully that continues on to get better. That being said, in the same way that I have questions about the Fever versus maybe better competition, this guy playing, a top five team in the league, they'll look better versus some other teams too. So it's a double edged sword. I still think that Sloot can help them a little bit. It's just I didn't necessarily like the things leading up to it, and the Fever, as you mentioned, have certainly showed that they were, just on a different tier as far as team is concerned. That's really what it comes down to. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the other stuff that the play involved. To me, I think that people on both sides are overreacting. I think that Cece saw her teammate get pushed in the back by Angel, and as a result, she gave a hard foul, on first thing it just looked like a swipe, but she did give her a little shove in the back with the left hand. It's okay. I don't think it's anything crazy. It wouldn't have been a flagrant for me. I think that was a little bit of a soft thing. Reality situation is Angel got up, took some offense, wanted to yell at her a little bit. Nothing out of the ordinary for CC or Angel as far as basketball is concerned. I think people overreacting on both sides. Me personally, that's the way I view it. It is what it is. People are going to think more than it is when it comes to these two players. But really, the thing that it comes down to, and obviously, I don't know what the hell happened with Indians fans. I don't know anything about that. But the reality situation is, these are two players that want to go out there, compete, play basketball at the highest level, and I would like it if people would allow them to do so on a more consistent basis without being weird. But thus is life, and this is part of sports sometimes. So that's my thoughts on that part of it.
Yep. Thank you. Will said. You about to say something, OG?
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick about we talk about that guard play in Chicago. I know Vandersloot ain't this and that, but she's, to me, she's a good, decent point guard, and she understands the game. But I think you hit it right on the head, D Mac, with the lack of an idea or a plan or what you're trying to do, where you're trying to get the ball to, and that's all on the coaching. I mean, I don't care what guard is there; it's gonna look like shit. So they don't have a system. They don't even know what they're trying to do. I see Cardosa just floating around way too much, as big as she is. You know what I mean. She doesn't get the ball where I think she would be most dominant at, right around the basket a lot of the time. So yeah, I mean they went into the offseason, they knew they needed to go. They knew they needed a system. They went and got a new coach, but you still got somebody that's still just, we're still seeing the same problems we saw last year. And this is a quick question, real quick. Where's that light skinned girl? What's her name? The one that can get a bucket.
Kennedy,
I'll
They
do
didn't
it.
resign
Yeah.
Kennedy.
yeah,
She's
she's
overseas.
still a
Out
free agent.
She's
She's playing in
she's
Mexico right now.
somewhere in
Yeah,
Mexico.
she's overseas. Yeah.
You mean tell me them niggas can't use her?
No, they definitely
They
They
could.
could, but
could.
I the thing that I said was that at the end of the day, Kennedy is not the type of player that, and I mean stylistically, that they need to continue the development of Angel and Cardoso.
Yeah.
And that was in a vacuum something that I understood why they would move on from her. And this is, again, there are other things as far as locker room, et cetera, even though it seemed like it was fine. They also fired Teaspoon, which is a totally different thing too. That being said, in a vacuum, I understood where they move on from him. Their choices after moving on from him doesn't really make that much sense, and that's really
Yeah,
what it comes down to for me.
yeah, I'm right there with you then. Okay, all right. And then the last thing about that whole little file, bro. I look here, man. Look, all that bullshit. Look here, man. That was a good file. Let's just leave it right there. That was a good file considering the circumstance. Somebody about to go shoot a layup. And I swear, I looked for exactly what you was just talked about, D Mac, because the commentator said the slight push in the back with the left hand. I I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just missed it. But I watched the shit like 15 times and I didn't see it. So I don't know. But I don't want to be. I hope we don't have to come in here and talk about shit like that as it relates to the WNBA throughout the offseason. And like I said, for me, come on, man. That was you were just looking for something to get mad about. I don't know if the ass whooping was on your mind. I don't know if just the last year was on your mind. Man, play ball, man. Play ball. Play ball. That was a damn good foul. And I would tell my team to do that every motherfucking single time. And if you go up there and try to chop somebody and come across their head or come across their neck, all that old shit, yeah, that's dirty. That's a basketball play. And do it 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times. Ain't nothing to talk about. Do it 10 out of 10 times. He finna go make a layup, make a shoot 2 free throws, man. That's it. That's it. End the game. I mean, if we want to, and if we want to, I don't know, if we want the WNBA to start progressing and going to the next level, then these types of conversations, we shouldn't even have these types of conversations as it relates to the game. I mean, come on, man. I'm not trying to talk about no hard no. That was a bullshit. That was a basic ass foul. That wasn't even no playoff type foul. That was just a hard foul. Shit, I'm not gonna let you get the layup. But anyway, that's all I had to say about
Facts,
that, man.
AB. Facts.
I didn't want to. I just all that bullshit. Like I said, it just seemed like somebody's just waiting on something to get mad about. You finally got you something, and it wasn't even warranted. So it is what it is.
I would say
Yeah,
that
yeah,
applies to both sides. Is my only thing.
yeah.
Don't.
Good basketball play, bro. I had to relook at it. I think what got Angel was the stare down. I think Angel got mad that Caitlyn looked at her when she got on the ground, as you can see. Like I think that's what it all. Damn. I think that's what it all was. Like the little look down a little bit.
And she did stare her
Yeah,
down. Though.
she
I
she
didn't even
looked her.
peep
She
this thing.
looked her. She did it. She gave her a little look down. I think that's what got Angel mad for.
Which
And she gave her
again,
a
we have
little.
watched
She
so
did
many
give her a little
basketball
push.
times in which a player has yelled at another player. I don't know why it's really that big of a deal, personally.
I mean, it's the fans. Like
Right.
we don't have to speak too. We'll have to dive into it too deeply, but yeah, there's a fan base on that side that is just there. Everything is heightened, and in respect to them, I understand why. Angel has dealt with a lot. Fans of Angel have dealt with a lot, and it's tough to see a player. What like I've had women like hit me like, yo, she's been at the game. She's been called a monkey by fans on in the arena and things of that nature. If those things are true, which I have no reason to believe that they aren't, I don't think someone would make that up. It's tough, and that could also play a part in it as well. Dealing with all the outside noise, dealing with blatant racism, and people just being mean and nasty. And all you want to do is hoop. Yeah, that's problematic. So I can see how it could get to people, but I'm with OG. That's
Bro,
1000% a basketball play.
the person who made the tweet wasn't even at the game.
Oh, I didn't even know. I had no clue about that. See, well,
There have
thank
been
you
people
for
that were
confirming.
at the game that said otherwise. Again, I haven't heard or seen anything that proves it. So to me, it doesn't exist until I see proof personally.
And West, the video they put out at the free throw line, they edited a Flight Reacts video onto it to make it sound like a monkey laugh. Like, come on, bro. Like, what we doing?
Oh, I didn't see anything. I just
Yeah,
had
I didn't see that
women
video. Whatever.
who, when women hit me and they're like, yo, she's dealing with this. I try to, be receptive to that. If that's not true, it's unfortunate that people are lying about that. But if it is true, it shouldn't be happening. And hopefully they can, correct it. But that's just a basketball play, like OG said, even with the little push. Because Caitlyn did push her. But it's still just a normal foul. It's a hard foul. They're hard fouls all the time. Caitlyn got fouled hard several times last year. And I was against the people who tried to make it seem like it was such a big issue that was beyond basketball. No, like people are playing basketball. And a part of your job as a competitor is to try to get into your opponent's head. So
Well,
if that's
speak to
by
what
giving them
Misha's
an
typed in the
extra little
chat,
nudge.
please.
So
I
what?
mean, Mish, we did see her teammate push Kayla on the ground
I
for no
said,
reason.
speak to
And
what
Mish got
Misha's
the best
typed in
of
the
the
chat,
tackle.
please.
I mean, I that's her opinion, and Misha's entitled to it. again, last year when people were doing that, the only time I felt like something was out of bounds, it was in college, and it was with Camila Cardoso, where she fouled some. I think she fouled FloJ or Flage, however you pronounce her name.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I thought it was over the top, and that's the only time I ever used the thug word in relation to women's hoops. I was corrected on it. Women were really upset with me about that, and I didn't do it again. And I stopped. It was really playful for me more than anything. But even with that, like even with the fouls that Caitlin took last year that were kind of hard, I just felt like most of them were basketball plays. And when they weren't, it's like okay, give a flagrant and move, give a tech and move. But it's
Yep.
it's still hoops.
Yep.
Like we got to let them play hoops.
Yeah, I would. And from last year, like for me, I'm gonna just say for me, I'll answer it for me. If I see that, if it was the other way around, get up. It's just the same thing I just said. I'm saying it both ways. The same thing. I don't give a damn about none of that. For me, the problem I had with last year was when I saw a lot of those fouls that were given. Because to me, if you want to say, yeah, when they come into the league, they're gonna have to learn that they're gonna, it's tougher around here. It's a level of physicality. We bigger, we
Oh,
stronger, we fast. I'm good with all that. I'm good with all, but let that shit happen organically. But when you start coming to the game, and this is what I saw last year. When I was watching the game, almost seemed like, yeah, we finna show them. We're gonna go out of our way to go show them that it's tougher around here. Well, you don't have to go out of your way. You don't have to go out of your way. The shit's gonna organically happen anyway because you stronger than her already. So when she comes in here and tries to go up and she bounces off you and hit the ground, that's organic. You ain't got to go out of your way to go deliver a blow to try to show the game is tougher. Here, we're gonna show you. That's what I had a problem with last year. I don't have a problem with folks having to learn the physicality, the strength, the speed, and all that. Never that. And if that shit would have happened, if Angel would have fouled Caitlin just like that, good foul. Good foul. I ain't got shit to say about it. One way or another, that's a good foul. Both ways.
Yeah, to speak to, as far as that is concerned, there's two things at play here for me. The first is, in my opinion, we've seen across all basketball leagues, if you get fouled hard, and again, I don't think it was really excessive from Caitlin. I think it was just a hard foul. She didn't want her to get the layup. That's exactly how you're supposed to foul somebody bigger than you when you don't want them taking the layup. I, I've seen basketball players react to that not favorably. They've got up and yelled, and some have let it go. But I don't think there was anything crazy from Angel's reaction in that standpoint. The second thing is to OG's point. Last year, the physicality of it, and this is something that I talked about as we were starting out the season. The stuff that happened to Caitlin wasn't out of the ordinary. There's a reason why people talk about Dino as somebody that sets a tone for rookies coming into the league because she tends to do that. Angel got clothesline last year. These things happen to rookies because they get introduced to the league and a level of physicality that doesn't necessarily exist as far as college is concerned. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that that's a part of the league and the culture that exists. Now, look, I am not somebody that can read minds. I don't know if it was targeted at CC. My only thing was observing it. It was not anything out of the ordinary that happened as far as the other rookies I've seen. That being said, again, it's basketball. I don't think anything crazy happened. This is more of an issue for the stands on both sides of this that make it a bigger thing or want to turn it into something. Because at the end of the day, CC and Angel, and also in the context of the greater league, are just trying to compete at basketball at the highest level. And sometimes, emotions run high when doing so. Sometimes, it's a physical contact sport. So, those things happen too. And that's really what it comes down to for me. On the floor, I don't think anything crazy happened. Again, I don't know what the hell happened if Indiana's fans was acting crazy. Obviously, we've heard other things, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to put it on them unless I see proof or hear proof of it. And so I can't say that for right now. But all that being said, I would just like if people would be a little bit normal about allowing these two players to just play basketball. Because in my opinion, at least, I know other people feel otherwise. I enjoy watching both of them play basketball. So that's just me.
And here's my last comment. I will say this. I think Angel is gonna have an uphill battle, and her fans, because the real to me, and I'll stand alone. No one has to agree, but to me, the real issue is we keep trying to compare two players who are not in the same class. It's okay for Angel to be lesser player. Like she's just not Caitlyn. So then I think the fact that we keep trying to make them stand side by side as players as opposed to entities is causing more of an issue. Because as players, they're nowhere near one another. Caitlyn is head and shoulders above Angel, and that's okay. Angel can get better. Angel could catch Caitlyn. Angel may surpass her one day, but she's nowhere near as a basketball player. As an entity, they stand together. But that distinction needs to be made and it needs to be clear. And I think cooler heads probably could prevail if people understood that this competition, this rivalry, isn't really won because she's nowhere near it. This isn't Bird and Magic. It's not that type of party, bro. Like,
The player need to
respectfully.
understand that shit as well.
You
Bingo.
said
No,
who
That's
the,
said?
it
the
right
player
there.
the player
I
doesn't
think
need to
both of y'all
understand that. I
spot on.
disagree with that.
The player need
Yeah.
to understand that
Disagree.
shit as well, nigga.
I
I
think
disagree with that because then
Stop
you're saying
feeding
that
into
the
the
player shouldn't
bullshit.
be
Stop
a
giving your fans
competitor, and
bullshit
that's
to feed into it
I
well.
disagree with
The
that. I
player need
agree
to
with
understand
everything that
two
was
things.
said. They need obviously there is a different class of both of them as far as a player is concerned. That's not even close.
The player
Uh,
and the family.
you should not ever say that a competitor that actually cares about their craft and wants to go out there and win should look at herself as or himself for that matter should look at themselves. There you go. As lesser than another player. No, that's not the way that competitors are wired. That's not the way that any competition is wired. So that's where I would push back personally. But I definitely agree as far as West is concerned.
but D-Mac, I mean, you can feel a certain way, right? But I mean, you can't tell me that this niggas in the league that not looking at themselves when in comparison to LeBron James and said, yeah, I'm good, but I ain't that nigga. I
Yeah,
mean, you
I'm
can't
sure
tell me
there
that.
are.
That's I mean, that's just a reality.
Yeah,
That's just
I'm sure there are, and I'm not faulting people for having that viewpoint, but I'm also not faulting the people that say, "Nah, I'm not going to be scared or back down of any challenge," and say that
But that's
I'm lesser
different
than that
though.
person. I
But
can't
that's
play.
different. But
That
that's
that's
different. Not
that. If you're saying that this player can't play on this level, then you're saying, yeah, then you should be looking at it as lesser. No, if your mentality is there's nobody that I'm worse than on the court, and that's the mentality that got you here, I don't see why you should have to change that mentality. Now, if it's hurting your team, that's a different conversation, certainly. But as far as competing against somebody across the board, no, I don't think that you should look at it that way because that's your competitive mindset. I don't fault people for having that level of competitive mindset.
when you talking to a nigga that thinks he can beat motherfucking King Kong, nigga. I get you. I hear everything you saying. I get you. I understand that level of thinking. That's me. That's me. I don't give a fuck who it is. Nigga, why when I hear niggas talking about, oh, he's 6'5", yeah, you I don't give a fuck, nigga. What does that mean? So I get what you saying there, but at the same time, I also understand I ain't crazy now. I'm not crazy. Yeah, I can think all the way. Yeah, man, you put me and LeBron out there, nigga, I promise. Man, look here, man. And deep down inside, I also know that I'm not better than that nigga, bro. I know that. Now when it's time to fight, when it's time to get down, I'm gonna compete like a motherfucker. But I understand that level. But my thing is, and the reason why I have a problem with her taking this approach because it just feels like it just keeps being so like I don't know. It feels like it keeps irritating so I don't know how do I put this shit. I know exactly what I'm trying to say, and I cannot get it out. You can keep that fire, you can keep that competitive nature,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, how do I say this? Fucking, why I hate when I have this type of shit. Because I get where you're coming from, and I don't want nobody to lose that, but at the same time, it's almost
You can,
like
I
you
mean,
bring,
you can have a level of self awareness and still be that level of
thank you. That maybe
competitor.
that's what I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Maybe that's
I'm not taking that away one bit. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to have that self awareness. I'm just saying to if you're going out there on the court and you look across the court and you see a player and your mentality is I can beat that player on any given day. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's just me,
I
and
just feel like, and I
that's
don't mean
why
to cut you
I
off, but
think that that's a part of competitive
I
nature
ain't
for
say
some
beat,
I'm
people.
feeling,
nigga.
yeah. I guess it almost feels like she's just. It almost feels like she looks at K. If, to me, this is what it feels like the problem is. I look over there, they give her all the credit. They think she's all world and she's this and that, and I'm just as good. I don't know. I just to me, and I don't feel like that's the same. I don't feel like y'all deserve the same level of credit. Y'all are not the same basketball players. You don't
Well,
bring to the table what she brings to the table for your team, or from a WNBA perspective, in
fact.
no way, stretch, form, or fashion.
So, yeah, so
In no way, stretch, form, or
you think
fashion.
it's a bit of a jealousy thing, though?
I do. I absolutely do.
So
I
and again,
absolutely
I
do.
can't read minds. It's very possible that Angel or other players in the league feel that way. I have no way
I
of
mean,
saying
we've heard her
for sure.
comments, bro. We've heard the shit she
I,
said on interviews
yeah,
for
I've
no
heard that
reason. We
she
heard the
feels like
comments.
she deserves credit for what she's
Whether it's
brought to the
jealousy,
WNBA.
delusional, or just mental
Uh,
problems, there's something
yeah,
wrong.
I wouldn't agree with that,
My
Shaggy.
nigga
But I
said
know you
Something,
be
it's
told.
something clearly wrong.
I know
Something's
you. I know
clearly
you be
wrong.
told. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm
We
trying
can
to have
be
a
honest.
conversation.
Something's clearly wrong.
Hold Shaggy 1 second. OG, to your point, I think that that's very possible that they are. I'm just saying I'm not going to assume that they are. It could just be a competitive mindset thing and where they want to talk his shit. And I understand it. And I am somebody that gives competitors credit for when they want to compete at the highest level. And me personally, it doesn't really it's not a big deal for me if you want to have that competitive fire and you look at it that way. It doesn't, it's not something that I've ever looked at sports that way, where nah, you got to be able to have that level of self-awareness, otherwise you're just delusional
Hey,
or you're
D
As,
Mac.
as long as it's not driven by hate or jealousy, I'm good with that. As
yeah.
long as
And
it's
again, I don't
purely
know that for sure that it is or isn't. I'm
Clearly
saying
is.
I don't assume either way, but me personally, I don't have an issue with it.
And let me just clear this up because TJ in the chat has been sending some interesting comments. First and foremost, nobody up here said Angel isn't good. Not a
One
single
person
person.
did, but keep going.
Okay, one person did. D-Mac, you said one person did?
Yeah, Shaggy doesn't think she's a good NBA
Oh,
player.
okay, well, excuse me. All right, fine. I take that back. Um, but to the point of like nobody, I do know nobody said Caitlyn doesn't miss shots. Obviously, they both miss shots. And we can compare players who don't have the same play style. We do it all the time. So nothing is unique about what we're doing when it comes to Caitlyn and Angel. We can look at Fee and we can look at Asia Wilson. We can look at Stewie, players who don't have the same play style as Caitlyn, and say, yo, they're in a class with Caitlyn Clark. Is nothing irresponsible about the comparison. There's nothing wrong with it or anything like that, bro. She just one day she will get better for sure. I definitely think one day um, Angel may be able to sneak into that conversation. Today is just not the day, and I think it's fair for us to say that as well. And I think it is literally what we do in every other sport. So I don't. That's my one issue with the W, bro. Like I love the hoops. I think it's a really really tantalizing watch. Really invested in the ladies as well. I want to see them earn more, get more shine because they're really deserving. Like they are still top 1% athletes and hoopers. One thing I will never be with is acting like we have to treat this sport like it's different because women are playing instead of men.
Facts.
I
I,
agree.
I hate that. We have to stop doing that.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. I do think it's weird to say you can't compare plays. We do it in every single sport, even if they play different positions. Is what it is, different play styles, etc., etc. Uh, Jabron or whoever that idiot was did ask the question, and I say idiot because of other things he said, not because of this specifically. He asked the question of if Angel is in Angel Wilson's league. I don't think Angel is ever going to be a top 5 player. That's just me personally. I don't think she has that ceiling in her. But I do think she can be a really impactful player in this league for a very long time. But I will also say this because that's just the way I look at it. I don't think CC is in Agent Wilson territory. I think that there is a tier between the best 3 players in the world, and then CC's right below them. So that is just how I view it. Since you asked for my opinion,
Wait, what you just say?
That shit gonna change, D
Some
Mac.
goofy shit, you know.
You said
Wait,
top three. Who would that
wait,
top three
what was
be
that
if
last
she's
part? What
not?
was the last thing you just
I
said?
think that there's a tier between the top 3 players in the world, and CC is in the tier right below them.
Who's the top three? I know you said Asia. Who's the other two?
Asia, Fee,
He
and
gonna
Stu.
say Sabrina.
Asia
No,
Fee.
Stewie,
not
Stewie
Sabrina.
over CC?
Y'all got to
I
start
don't know if
listening
I
before
agree
this.
that there's a tier between Stewie and CC. Although Stewie is still a tremendous defender. I think CC's a better offensive player. I think there is a gap. Man, I won't say it's a considerable gap, but I think there's a gap. And obviously, there's a considerable gap defensively. So if that's how you're weighing it, cool. I think that it's just tough though. Like a full tier between CC and
Yeah,
Stewie.
like
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I would disagree. By the way, this idiot clearly didn't hear anything that I said. I never said anything about CC not being close to Asia. You did not hear correctly. I suggest you get your hearing checked. I have a good doctor that you can go to.
Man, focus on the stage. We're having a good
Yeah,
convo.
D-Mac, I'm confused, D-Mac. I
Explain
need
the
Yes,
rules of
D-Mac, I
yes,
need
yes,
some
Stewie.
that's right.
clarification when you're done.
Sure, go ahead.
So that first tier is Stewie, Fee, CC. I mean Stewie, Fee, Asia. That next tier would be CC, Chelsea Gray, who? Whatever players.
Yeah, I think John Quill for me is leading off that tier. I think she's the fourth best player in the world. But I think Jackie's in there, and that's really the end of the tier for me.
So you think Chelsea Gray is a tier 2 player?
She would be more of a. I mean, it's like tier 2.5 because I think JJ is also a half a step above these
I'm
people.
confused. You told her Chelsea Gray is
No,
better
I
than
know.
Caitlin Clark.
I'm just saying. I think that Gray is with CC and Jackie as far as that
Oh
next
fuck
that
no,
group
man,
is
this is
concerned.
insane.
Are you dropping Sabrina based off of her finals?
I had Sabrina as a top 10 player, but I didn't think that she was up there. So that's
Gray
fine.
not even better than
But
Sabrina.
last year you
Chelsea
told me
Gray is not
Sabrina
better than
was better
Sabrina,
than
bro.
Yeah,
Cece. Last year
Yeah,
you
that's
told me
fine.
Sabrina was better than Cece.
No, I don't think that's. I think CC had a better season. I didn't have any issues with that. Not a better season, but I do think she is a better player by the end of the season. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
So you think Chelsea Gray is still better than Satu? You think she's better than Copper? You think she's better than AT?
I do love Satu, but I mean, it's one of those things. Satu missed all the last year, so we're gonna see her come back. I think Satu, if she stays healthy for a full season, definitely get past up Gray. And also, this is obviously coming off the context of that Gray struggled mightily against Liberty. I'll be honest with you guys. I expect that to happen to a lot of guards this season. So that's just me personally. Just gonna say that. But yeah, I mean, I think that Copper, obviously, we'll see how she comes back from injury. I think she'll end up being fine. I like her a lot. But no, I wouldn't put her necessarily on that level yet.
Bro, no fun. This Chelsea Gray shit is ridiculous.
That's fine.
I do want to say, although I do think Caitlin Clark is the third best player in the WNBA, on bias aside, obviously I think, well, not obviously, I think majority people, I can't speak for myself. If I'm starting the team, I'm taking CC at 1. But at the respect to Asia and Fee,
Well, she's young. She's the youngest. She's the youngest player.
That's why. Cool. That's why I said it, brother.
No, but
Fuck
I'm saying
age.
that's
I don't
different
give
than
a
but
damn
I,
about
conversation.
all
that.
I,
I'm
all I
probably
was,
taking it
all I
either
was
way.
doing,
I'm probably still taking Asia.
all I was doing was speaking for myself, D Mac. And if
I'm,
anybody take
I'm,
all right, okay, but can I finish what I'm saying though? Can I
I
finish what
was
I'm
just
saying?
saying it was
Okay,
different than
can
the
I
conversation
finish?
we were having.
Can I finish what I'm saying though?
Yes, go ahead.
Like, if I'm starting a team, I'm taking CC at 1. If anybody's taking Asia, still with all due respect to Asia, she's a monster. I will understand that. CC is my favorite player. But I do agree with only one thing you said. After the rest, Shaggy, good call out because you saying bullshit. But I do think I do agree. He didn't cut you off. You finished what you said. But I'm gonna stop right here.
And according to y'all, so that's fine.
All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna stop right there. I do think I agree. I disagree with West. Actually, not even you. I disagree with West. I don't think it is. Although I am taking CC over Stewie now, I do not think it's a gap offensively between the two. I don't think it's a gap. I will confidently say CC is the better offensive player from an all-around perspective, but I don't think it's a gap between the two. Personally,
How if you think she's better?
Nah, it's a gap. It's just not a big gap. It's not.
Yeah, I that's what I was saying. I was trying to represent. Like, I don't think that gap is wide. I'm not saying this. Like, that's why I stayed away from the tier thing, because it's like typically when I say if I feel like something is wide, I'm willing to do what D-Mac just did. It like, oh, it's a tier between them on this side of the ball or that side of the ball. I don't feel that way about it offensively. I do think CC's a better player though, offensively, and that's why I would say that there's a gap, even albeit minimal. I think there is one.
But no, it's fair. Okay, because then me saying what I said doesn't make sense. Okay, fair. Yeah, I see why you separated the.
It's Chelsea Gray shit was ridiculous.
Went from gap to tier. Okay, that makes sense. But what if Stewie's having a game like she had on Saturday, which probably will continue all year, right? Where she's giving you the 25 to 30 a night, 24 to 30, 24 to 28, whatever the case may be, while being efficient at that aspect as well. You were still in gap in that.
I mean, if she does that this year, then I would probably readjust my standing on it. I think coming off of last year, CC clearly showed to me that she was a better offensive player. Again, albeit small gap, but I think she was better offensively than Stewie. And we could say, maybe Stewie dealt with tougher coverages. But I saw Stewie miss a lot of bunnies. I saw Stewie in years prior, Stewie missed shots last year that 1,000% when she was MVP and looked at as best in the world, she was just cashing.
Yeah.
There weren't, she was a much more consistent offensive player a few years ago than she was last year. So it's really based off of what I saw last year.
Yeah,
I
Nah,
think
I agree. Because I will bank on before D-Mac squeeze. I would bank on CC being more consistent offensively this season than Stewie. To be honest, so I agree. I'm with you.
the
I
the
agree.
thing that I think that it was a little bit underrated last year. She was dealing with knee problems throughout the entirety of last year. She toughed it out, and so I think that affected what she was able to do as far as the offensive end. But the Stewie I saw, looks very healthy. She obviously got the offseason knee procedure that she ended up needing as far as cleaning that up. She looks like she's back to looking like the two-way, incredibly impactful forward that that I've known her to be the entirety of her career. So I think
Mhm.
that, as far as the CC's offensive impact, I think you could say that, like you said, it was a small gap for you. I think that you could say slightly ahead for CC, but I think Stewie blowing her out of the water as far as the defensive impact I think is a massive piece of it for me that puts her ahead of her. And again, this is the way that I view basketball. It's the way I view basketball, whether it's men or women. I am always going to be in favor of the people that are the two-way forwards that I think ultimately run the sport, or really two-way wings, I should say more specifically, in a different way than necessarily than just the smaller guards. And that's just kind of how I've always looked at it throughout my basketball viewing experience. And so that's just a big thing for me. And
You know CC a two-way player, right?
not in the way
Nah,
that
she was clamping up game one.
You're gonna
she
see this year.
But I got a question
I'm
for
with you
I
though,
defense.
don't,
D-Mac.
I,
I feel
Defensive
that.
impact in the
I don't
W
know.
is not the same because you keep saying
Queen,
that's how
please,
you
No,
please.
no,
view
no, no.
That's what
Chill,
it
basketball.
is.
twin, chill,
Yeah,
That's
you
fine.
twin.
bugging. You
Hey,
bugging.
I
You
don't
bugging.
know.
Twin. You bugging. You
It's
bugging.
not
I
to the
don't
same
know if
degree.
You bugging. You
I
bugging.
don't, I don't know if I would call CC necessarily a two-way player, right? But the way but she does play defense, gang. Like
No,
she
she's
she
I mean,
not a
yeah,
sieve.
it's
she's
still
not
a
no cone
considerable
out there,
gap.
gang. Like
Yeah,
she
but I
plays
didn't
defense.
I didn't call her a cone. I didn't say she was a sieve. It's just that Stewie is a far more
Nah,
impactful
you gonna
defense.
call it a two-way by the end of the year? Trust. You gonna see.
I mean,
See if that happens.
maybe, but I think the point still will stand. Like Stewie feet, because again, if we were saying this about Fear Asia, and we're just focusing defensively, I don't think there would be the pushback because it's just so clear. Like they're better
Yeah,
defenders, and it's the
Yeah.
same way
and
for
I
Stewie
think
as well.
Asia and Fee on a defensive level are on a
A
different level
different
than even
tier than
Stewie.
Stewie.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So all of that is fair, and I think the way I've been looking at, I think they're four MVP level players, maybe five. I think I
5.
respect John Quell,
Oh,
but
John Paul.
I
John
don't
Paul.
think John Quell. True, maybe a situation, so maybe I'm being a little unfair to her, but I don't think in her current situation she can be an MVP level player. I
I just
think they're
wish.
four. You said what, OG?
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish your point.
Oh yeah, I think there are four players who have that, and it's Asia, Fee, Stewie, and Cece. And they don't all have to occupy the same tier. That's fair, but I do think there should be some bit of a distinction where it's like we're not putting CC with people like Chelsea Gray personally. Like I just can't get behind that, but I
Facts.
respect the opinion.
I
OG,
just
go
wish
ahead.
we would start considering defense like
Chelsea Gray not a
in
top
the
15 player.
NBA, like we consider it in the WNBA.
Well,
That's all, and I'm just gonna leave
It's
that
not
right
the
there.
same. It's not the
OG,
same.
Niggas know I'm not trying to hear that shit. I'm not. It's still the same game. I'm not trying to hear that shit. But
no,
that's another subject for a different
for
day.
another day. I agree with you, and I look at it the same way. Where I do try and really value defense in the NBA too. But it's just, and Wes really put it. It's just I think that you look at the MVP caliber players, and I think CC does have that ability. I truly do feel that way. She is going to be in MVP talks this year because of the ways in which she's improved her game. But I do think that it is a lot of the situation as far as limiting the MVP thing that we can see off across an entire season with Stewie and JJ. Because you saw when Stewie won her MVP 2 years ago, we didn't have nearly as much team as we did, obviously last year and even this year. So we had to rely on her a lot more from that standpoint. Sabrina wasn't as good of a player 2 years ago as she was this year. So there's a lot of that aspect of it. So now JJ and Stewie aren't going to be able to put up the MVP caliber of performances, I think, on a consistent basis. But I do think that level of play is still within them. And for JJ, which is, obviously outside of the Stewie conversation, it just seems to show up on a consistent basis versus the Aces. She just loves that matchup as far as that's concerned. And I love watching John Quell play too. But also, I will have to say this. NBA, WNBA, basketball is a tall person sport, and that is always going to give you certain advantages if you can use them accordingly and you're the level of athlete to do that. And it's going to be difficult for smaller players to make up that gap. And that's not to say that it can't happen, because obviously you can have spectacular offensive players like a Stephen Curry, the NBA, or Sue Bird for the time in which he was in the WNBA, that can make up for it. But it is a level of being able to be that two-way impactful player that does matter.
Good talks. Yeah, good talks around the whole WNBA and everything that we've been talking about as far as CC and Angel and just some of the best players in the WNBA. And I'm glad that all of us, and even just a lot of people inside of Fact and Stats as well, as I'm seeing Keys, TJ, Jabron, Shador, Kenny, and many more chiming in on what we're discussing on the stage. To wrap this up, I'm going to close it out with yesterday's game. We only had 2 games yesterday. I already shouted out the Mystics for having that 2-0 start to the year. The Sun, obviously, newcomer. She'll probably be the best player alongside of Marina this season, and that's Tina Charles that I'm referring to, coming over from Atlanta and now being a starting center in Connecticut. New look Connecticut Sun, I want to say. 3 starters are gone with Brianna, AT, Bonner, even Dejanay. Shit, so 4 our starters are gone. Marina, opportunity where she could have got a 3 up to tie the game, was unable to get it. Well, she did get it up. She bricked it. She was 5 for 21 in the game, 1 for 8. There's gonna be a lot of games like this where she's shooting like this. She has nothing but space and opportunity to get her game off, and it's crazy because she was traded from one situation to now this situation, and both situations are gonna be bad if you ask me this year. And that's Chicago Sky and the Connecticut Sun. On a Mystic standpoint, Sonya, she had another big game, a good game. She had a big shot down the stretch. She had 15 points, but Brittany Sykes is the one that I shouted out today. Where all year she's going to have a lot of opportunity to ball out and hoop. You know what I'm saying? Shakira got ejected in this game. She's one of their better bigs on the team. Aaliyah Edwards, again, still did not play the first round pick from last year. But Kiki and Sonya, both really good games for them. Both are going to be in the rookie of the year race, like Shaggy was saying earlier. And both are going to be contributing alongside Brittany from an offensive perspective, and having the Mystics be in games or even win games. You know, they started down this game first quarter 13-23. And worked their way all the way back in that second quarter and carried that momentum on to the fourth quarter where they outscored the Sun 30-20. So really shout out to the Mystics really for their great start. Shout out to Kiki as well. And listen, they're off to a surprising, like I said, 2-0 start, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes. For the Sun, I already have nothing extra to add. Like I said, Tina Marina's gonna be the best 2 players all year. They got JC this year as well, from Dallas, early first round pick. I think like two years ago, I want to say it was, maybe 3 at most. But there'll be a team that struggles this year. So nothing really to add there for the Mystics and the Sun. And then next, to close out the WNBA side of things today, we had the Lynx versus who I believe, like I said, the second best team in WNBA, even without Kelly McBride. Still a really good team because of who their best players in Fee, and also the pairing with Courtney Williams. With Fee, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 stocks. Miss Smith, 18 points, 4 for 7 from 3, 7 for 10 from the field. And then Jessica Shepard even came off the bench and had a good game with 11 points and 10 rebounds. So just a well-rounded effort for the Lynx. As far as the Spark side of things, Hamby rebounded the ball well again with 20 and 10. Missouri Stevens had 21 and 6. It's crazy because the parlay that I have for this game would have hit if I bet it. But I didn't freaking bet it because I was live on TikTok. I'm so sick. But then Kelsey Plum followed up her 37-point game with 18 points just in this one. 5 for 14 from the field. And some of the Sparks game would be up and down. The Sparks will show flashes. But they're really not going to be what they probably could be at best until Brink is back, and also probably next year when they're putting it all together even more than what they're doing this season. And Rakia also continues to evolve with her game from an offensive perspective, but just all around. So that's that for the WNBA. When you look at the game tonight, we have one game that is scheduled to be watched in Playback, playback.tv/facts and stats. Again, that's playback.tv/facts and stats. That is the link is in the description on this video. It's an app you can download and sign up and join. That costs $0. $0 to come and watch this game with us tonight. We got no NBA action, so I'll be geared in on Paige, going up against the Seattle Storm and Skylar Diggins and company. So make sure you all pull up to the Playback room tonight. Also, if you did not like this video yet, make sure you all like this video. We'll greatly appreciate that. The last thing I'm going to highlight today before we talk about the Nuggets and OKC Game 7, just the NBA playoffs in general. This is brief, super brief, not long at all. Again, this is super brief, not long at all. It's really just a highlight and that's the San Francisco 49ers taking care of business. Once some can say, or probably one could say, and myself, taking care of business, giving Brock Purdy, their quarterback, who took them to some highs. You know what I'm saying? They obviously had some lows as well. This past season, mainly because of injuries. But Brock Purdy and the 49ers on Friday, I want to say it was, they agreed to a 5-year, $265 million contract extension, including $181 million in total guarantees. And also found out yesterday, I want to say, this contract comes with a no trade clause. So Brock is pretty much in control of, what happens over the next 5 years. It's pretty rare not rare, but not too often you'll see quarterbacks or players period have no trade clause in NBA, NFL, or even NBA at this point, to be honest. So I'm cool with the move. I'm cool with the extension. You sort of kind of got to do what you can. It's not really too often where you'll go out and find a guy that can step in and be better than Brock. You all gotta be happy in what he brought to this franchise, being the 7th round pick. And now, some can say one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Obviously not top 5 for me, not top 10 for me, but he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And he still is a guy that can manage their offense and put guys in position to score and lead them to have one of the better offenses in the NFL, which he's done when he was healthy and when the team overall was healthy as well. So obviously we got to see how they look this year coming up with Brock Purdy. I'm happy for you. And that's pretty much my only, 1-2 comments. We'll see how the San Francisco 49ers shake back this year, if they do shake back. But that's it. D-Mac or anybody else, I got anything on Brock Purdy new extension with the San Francisco 49ers?
Numbers look big, but the actual cap logistics of it are smaller than people would be.
And you said that because, are you saying that because I think I see a tweet this morning where he's the 14th highest paid quarterback?
Yeah, I haven't seen that specific tweet, but if you compare the percentages, and I'll allow you to put this before, but I wanted to see as far as the AAV compared to other people, it's not as large as it would be as far as a cap percentage. In my opinion, he got paid pretty well according to the slot in which he kind of falls in the league, which is that borderline, probably right outside top 10 for me. And I think he got paid accordingly for it. So I think the 49ers probably did a good thing as far as that's concerned. So I think it's fair value for him. Obviously, he got the no trade clause, so he controls his future, which is a piece of it. And I think that also helped them get him for a little bit less money. Now comes the hard part, obviously, of building around a veteran contract, which is not easy by any means. But that being said, the Niners have been a pretty good drafting team over the years. So we'll see how they're able to do it.
I thank you, and I want to make one more comment to Akil in the chat. Akil, shout out, appreciate you being in here. I guess you took it different than how I said it, or I guess I said it wrong or bad. But just because I said one of the better quarterbacks in the league does not mean if you're not top 5 or top 10, you're not one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And I can give you a couple of examples. Baker Mayfield, he's probably not a top 10 quarterback in this league, but he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. It's a lot of freaking teams in the league. Your guy and your quarterback, Jared Goff. One can probably say he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he's not a top 10 quarterback in this league. You know what I'm saying? Long as you're not bottom 7, bottom 7, I'll probably stop there. Or bottom 5, I'll probably stop there. You're probably worth talking about. Who are the bottom 5 quarterbacks in the league, real quick?
Active.
Yeah, active, like starters.
I think it'd probably be easier to do this by team. So the Colts would be one of them.
Yeah, I was thinking the Colts.
And you would still have to put the Jets,
Browns,
Colts, Saints, Browns,
Saints, the Steelers as of right now.
Steelers.
They don't have Rodgers.
Probably Jets.
Over the Giants.
I would take.
Oh, well, they have a rookie. Never mind.
I would take the Giants quarterback room, which is not great or good or serviceable, but I would take that over the Steelers quarterback room. Yeah. So those are a few of the teams. I don't think there's anybody really that we missed.
Man, I'm ready to get in the NFL. We got to figure out. It's some things to pay attention to in Arizona, man. How much longer are they gonna stay on the hamster wheel? But I know we're transitioning.
You talking about Kyler Murray?
Yeah, absolutely. They feel like they are, like in the NBA where we talk about teams that are just
stuck on
not
the treadmill,
bad enough but not good enough. Just yeah. What were you saying, D-Mac?
The treadmill of death is what.
Yeah. I've never heard that specific phrase, but yeah, perfect. Treadmill of death. Like it's just they're never going to I don't think they'll be a championship team. And barring injury, I don't think they'll be a bottom, top 3 pick again or anything like that. So it just feels really strange where they could go. But yeah, I know we're getting back to the NBA.
No, yeah, we definitely over the next couple of weeks and months, NFL talks will be evolving inside of Facts and Stats. We've been adding or introducing some over the past week. When we talk about schedules and things of that nature, but many more will be coming pretty soon. It's crazy because NBA season is over next month, bro. It's wild.
It's
It's
about
really
time.
wild.
Yeah,
You said what?
But
Shay?
shout out WNBA, man.
It's about time.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This NBA low key, bro. This NBA season been bogus. I ain't gonna lie, but we'll get into that in a second.
It's gonna be worse next year. No Dame, no
this
Tatum.
shit was bogus.
Kyrie out for an extended
Niggas called me
period.
haters. I said that back in November.
The NBA don't hit the same, man. Where them old niggas at?
Y'all
Yeah, we'll
only
see,
saying
we'll
that because the teams
Wait,
that
what?
got through are
I
the
know
teams
Twin
that
ain't just say that.
I like the product is good, but it's the young bucks. You feel me?
Bro,
You gotta-
the Young Bucks are literally leading the league.
that's what I'm saying. Where them old niggas at? Them young niggas, bruh.
Bro, you
All
know,
those people
twin,
phased
you know
out.
what it is. You know what it is, twin.
Like Halliburton,
Niggas don't
Jalen
like the young
Brown.
niggas, bro. They like the old niggas. They don't like the young niggas no more, bro. It's a young nigga league. You
Like
old niggas fall in
Halliburton.
line.
Like what's going
It's a
on with
young
Nigga
this
it's a
said
nigga,
the
young
man?
league
nigga
finna be
league
worse
now.
because
You
we
old
missing
niggas fall
Tatum.
in line.
Nigga
Who the
said it's
fuck
about to
is
be
a
worse because we missing
Halliburton,
Tatum.
man?
Bro, how many times are you gonna
Business,
say that?
business,
Like
business,
he's
business.
a
Yeah, yeah,
good
business,
player in
business,
this league.
business. That was the business decision because I know where it was about to go, and West know I was about to transition anyway. Not saying that was West's fault, but I'm about to transition anyway. I know where I was about to go. Everybody that came through the YouTube side of things today, y'all, thank y'all so much. I'm continuing enjoying the show. Like Wes said, shout out to the WNBA. It was a great WNBA talks today. But the show is far from over. Again, I am still working out a new schedule. I think I'm going to stick with probably for now going to the gym in the afternoon / evening. So I will give myself up to like 3 p.m. or 2:30 or so to be able to then go to the gym. So I still have like an hour and a half or two. So with that being said, is the show is not over, but the show will transition elsewhere. That's playback.tv / fact and stats. And all those brothers that I just saw up here will probably be on the stage in playback. I just didn't want it to drag right here. Playback.tv / fact and stats. The link is in the description to join this room. I'm also going to drop the link in the chat. Again, it's playback.tv / fact and stats. It's app. Nah, Ted, I'm shifting my schedule. What you mean? I went to the gym 5 straight days last week. I'm shifting my schedule to the afternoon or evening. I did a lot this morning. I think when I wake up and I get to fact and stats behind the scenes stuff, I think that's better versus trying to do it after the show. Playback.tv / fact and stats, y'all. Make sure y'all pull up. Again, we're going to immediately dive into this Nuggets and OKC Game 7. We're going to talk about things, early Denver Nuggets outlook for the offseason. And then we might stop there. And then tomorrow, I want us to do the dive into the top 10 players, the X factors, who you got winning the series and why, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to try to hold back from that today because I don't want that to take away from tomorrow. And that's my idea of tomorrow's show. So playback.tv / fact and stats. Thank y'all for the support. I will see y'all in Playback Room right now. And I'm ending on YouTube. Thank y'all for the support. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all become a member. Make sure y'all like this video. And see y'all